Hello CFL fans, we are back again with a week 4 recap, this time of course week 4, going through these games just very briefly. And then my thing for this week is I wanted to talk about the outcomes, kind of some of the parting thoughts I had with these games. So the first game of the week was BC at Ottawa. We saw the Lions move to 3-0 for the first time since 2007, if I'm not mistaken. They beat the Red Blacks 34-31. Had, points to lead, felt very comfortable, but at the same time, Ottawa just kept fighting back, and at the end, had that onside kick, weren't able to make things happen. But at the end of the day, we can see that both teams have a lot of fight. My parting thoughts for this game: BC is the real deal in the sense of they can very much so be a playoff team. I did my season preview for them and said I thought they could be a playoff team, but they're going to have to beat teams like Ottawa. And for the Red Blacks, of course, very frustrating that they start the year 0-3. But you play the Blue Bombers, who are 4-0, and then the BC Lions, who of course are 3-0. So two very good teams. Not sure what Ottawa's season will hold from here on out, but if they are able to compete at this level, I do think they could grab one of those two spots in the East. Going to be interesting to see there as well. Now, heading on over to Hamilton, we saw Edmonton and the Hamilton Tiger Cats play at Tim Hortons Field, where the unthinkable happened. The Hamilton Tiger Cats had a 22-9 lead, and of course, in Tre Ford's debut, the Elks were able to storm back and score 17 points off turnovers and win this game, forcing the Hamilton Tiger Cats to go 0-4 for the first time since 2017, and Edmonton to pick up their first win of the season. Don't know how I feel about it. I really like to watch Ford in his debut. Obviously had some highs and lows, hoping to see his team win some more games, because I do think that they could be a team that could get more wins than the East, because the East is looking rough right now. But Hamilton, got to worry about them because they're in a spot they are not used to in recent history. Now, going out west, we saw Montreal take on Saskatchewan at Mosaic Stadium in a rematch. Of course, the week before that, the Alouettes really beat up on the Rough Riders and just jumped out to the gate. Well, guess what? Chandler Worthy still able to score those touchdowns on special teams for Montreal, but the results were different. This time, Montreal loses after having the halftime lead. I think they had it 13-11. Saskatchewan scored 30 points in the second half, and then, of course, 21 of those coming in the third. Parting thoughts here: Montreal, a team that is very up and down. I was worried about them going into the year. Had them starting off the year slow and then really just turning it on towards the back end, hoping that my pick is going to be right there, of course, because I had them finishing first in the East with a hot finish to close out the year, but I'm not so sure. And then maybe a quarterback controversy or two there. And then for Saskatchewan, it's not always pretty. Penalties, again, talking point of the game, but Keelan Schaefer-Baker, and then you've got Jamal Morrow, etc. They've got a very good roster, and of course they are able to pick up a win and bounce back against Montreal. Final game of the week, this one was a doozy. Didn't expect it to be this good, but you had Winnipeg taking on Toronto, and the Blue Bombers were able to win 23-22. Winnipeg, they had a very nice lead. I believe it was 17-0 in this game, and almost choked the game away in the sense that they could have saw overtime. You had McLeod Bethel-Thompson, who was very, very good in the second half. Might have been 11 for 12, something like that. To close it out, Andrew Harris had over 100 yards. At the end of the day, Boris Vitti missed a PAT that would have tied the game, sparking controversy about whether or not you go for two in that situation. Me personally, knowing Toronto is the underdog in this game, I probably would have tried to go for two. Who knows? Obviously, you go for the smart play more often than not. Didn't work out here as Winnipeg sneaks on out of Toronto with a win. Parting thoughts: the Blue Bombers concern me a little bit. The defense, of course, able to limit points. The offense not able to put up a ton of points. And then Toronto, nothing to be too sad about here. Of course, you would have liked to get a win out of here at your own field, knowing that the East is kind of a dumpster fire at the moment, but knowing that you can play up to Winnipeg's standards. I know, of course, they had to claw their way back, but if you can do that in a very important game, the playoffs, then you're going to be in a good spot. So we'll have to see. That was my Week 4 recap. Stick around for tomorrow, or check out my video tomorrow talking about my previews for the picks for Week 5. But anyway, you make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. You make sure to subscribe if you are new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night.